Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good morning all. Okay, my name is Ainah Sari and I'm from class 4A. Here I want to tell you about the essence of the Islamic education. Before it, this is one of the title in the several group. Maybe I want to talk about the title of the other group. Maybe for group one is school in the philosophy of educations, and then the group two is the view of educations in philosophy on the God, human, society, and nature as well as science. And the next group is nature of human nature and its implications in the Islamic educations. And then the next group is the nature and the basic of Islam educations. And then the next is the essence of the Islam educations. This is my group. And then the next is the nature of Islam educations. And the next is the nature of Islam student. And then the nature of Islam educator. And the next, the nature approach, model and method, strategy and technique of Islam education, and then the nature of Islam education curriculum, and the nature of Islam education's evaluations, and the nature of Islam education tools and media. That is the last title. Okay, one of the title is the essence of Islam education. It is my group. I'm from group 6. Okay, here I want to explain you about the essence of Islam educations. Okay, the essence of Islam educations. I want to tell you about definition firstly. The first is definitions and the basic context of Islam education. Islam education is one from the educations that is orient to the teaching of Islam. Islam educations not only include the knowledge about the religions, but also cover various aspects of life, such as moral, social, culture, and so on. The context of Islam education is a B-side on the Islam religious teaching that teach moral and ethical flow, such as simplicity, honesty, and clearness of heart. Okay, Islam educations, there are concepts. The first is a good character. The second is understanding the principle of Islam. The third is developing social and culture sensitivity. Okay, I want to tell you about um, three education concepts. The first is a good character building. One of the main context of Islam education is the formation of a good character, noble character. Islam education emphasizes the importance of a meaning, morality, and the ethic in the every actions and activity. For example, teacher about the noble moral can be give so a teaching about the characteristic of the proper and then such as honesty, simplicity, sincerity, and the various other noble quality. This teaching about noble moral will help students in the developing good character. Second is understand the principle of Islam. About the understanding of principle of Islam, Islam educations also focus on understanding this principle of Islam religious teaching, such as creed, Islam law, Islam history, and various other topics. And then, for example, students can be taught about the Islam flu, taught student and discuss about the surah of the Al Quran, of or the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alaihi. And through these teachings, students can understand the principle of Islam religious teaching and they apply this value in the life. Okay, the third is development such as the culture sensitivity. Islam education also emphasizes the importance for development such as the culture sensitivity. This can be done by providing an understanding of a culture diversity in the Islam and building cultural tolerance. For example, maybe in this lesson about Islam history, students can learn about Islam civilizations that developed in the various parts of the world and the culture produced by Muslim community in the various country. And then to this understand a student can develop social and culture society as well and understand the technique and diversity of a Muslim community around the world. The next is the purpose. I'm sorry. Oh, it's just cannot research. Okay, the next is Islam education is implemented in daily life. Islam education is an educational context. This is preceded by the Islam. The context of Islam education not only discuss Islam aspect, but also include all aspects of human life. Therefore, implementations of Islam education must be palpable in the everyday life. This is the following are some explain of the implementations of Islam educations in the everyday life. The first is divisions. The second is noble moral. The third is justice. The fourth is sensi. Shensi. Shensi. Okay, I want to explain you the first movie. The first is devotions. Worship is one of the important part Islam. The implementations of Islam educations in the daily life can be seen from the way a person prays or worship. For example, playing 5 times, facing Ramadan, fasting Ramadan, reading the Holy Quran, and the others. Islam education teach about the implementations importance of maintaining a relationship with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala through worship. So the persons can strategize his fight and the active blessing in his life, daily life. Second is noble moral. Islam educations also teach about the noble moral that must be implied everyday life. Noble moral include values such as honesty, truth, patience, humility, and then other, I'm sorry. The implications of noble moral can be seen the interactions between a person that environment, but in this family, such society and environment. A Muslim is expected to always behave with the noble moral so that he can be a role model of other and help create harmonious life. For the second is justice. Islam educations also teach about the importance of the justice in the life. The implementations of justice can be seen in the few aspect of life, such as in deciding as a case, defining inheritance, and then others. Islam is aspect to always be have vital in the everyday life, so that he can maintain balance and create humanity in society. And four is sensi. Islam educations also teach about the importance of sensi in daily life. If a Muslim is expect to always learn and develop his knowledge. But in the field of the religions in other line, the implementations of the science can be in various aspects of life, such as in the work of education, healthy, technology, and others. And then for a Muslim who has extensive and deep knowledge can make great contributions to society and can help create better life. Okay, the next is the purpose. Right. Okay, the purpose of Islam educations. In the purpose of Islam educations, there are important of worship and the taqwa. No, there are the purpose of Islam education itself can be divided into several aspects. And maybe for a simple, the purpose of Islam educations, there are aspects. The first is spiritual aspect. The second is cognitive aspect, and the third is social aspect. I want to explain the first aspect, but before it, the purpose of Islam educations is education system that aims to create generations that understand the principle of Islam teaching. The purpose is this Islam education is a tool from an individual who have good moral, have a strong religious knowledge, and then also have a good life skill. In this context of education, Islam has a very important role because these religions has a great influence of the society and the culture. And the four aspect, the first is spiritual aspect. Spiritual aspect, Islam education and for the human who have a closeness to God in this context. Islam education straight to from the good moral and such as patience and sincerity and then compassion. In education, Islamic educations also teach about the importance of worship and taqwa, so that individual can get closer to Allah. The second is cognitive aspect. The cognitive aspect is Islam education is from individual who have strong religious knowledge. The purpose of this aspect is that individual can understand Islam teaching correctly and then can also apply these teachings in the daily life. In addition, the cognitive aspect also help individual to have a broader understanding of the world and the life. The third is social aspect. Islam educations also I'm from the human who have a good life skill. In this context, Islam education teach about the importance of associating with a fellow human being, respecting the rights of the others, and then also understand the role of the individual society. In addition, Islam educations also teach about the importance of honesty, justice, and the tolerance. A clear example of the applications of Islamic education is everyday life is the assistance of Islam school or assistant of Islamic school. This Islamic school usually have a curriculum that's a strategy, religious teaching with a general curriculum. So the student not only again general knowledge, but also understand religion's teaching better. In this education, in someone countries such as Saudi Arabia and Iran, Islamic education is also important part of the national education system. And then for the next is the importance of Islam education in developing Islamic human potential. In the Islam human potential, there are maybe several aspects. The first is forming Islam character. The second is expanding Islam insight. The third is improving the quality of human research. And the fourth is farming lifelong learners. Lifelong learners. Maybe I want to tell you about the verse firstly, but do you know the importance of Islam education in developing Islamic human potential is Islam education play an important role in the developing the potential of Islamic human research. Islam is comprehensive religions and provide life guidelines for human in the all aspect of life, including in the field of educations. Islamic education has Islam flu and includes a spiritual, moral, and technical aspect that are important, maybe in the formations of human character. Okay, and then Islam education has an important role in developing the potential of Islamic human research. And then, in this context, in the developing Islamic human potential, the importance of Islamic education is developing Islamic human research can be seen from the several aspects. Okay, just now I have mentioned four aspects in this PPT. The first I want to explain you the first. The first is farming Islamic character. In the farming Islamic character, Islam education has a moral and ethical view, and that are instilled in every aspect of the educational activity. This is a very important in the forming the character of an Islamic person, namely a character beside an Islamic teaching. A good Islamic good Islamic character beside an learning teaching. Good Islamic character can affect a person's attitude and behavior in everyday life. And then, for example, when a person has learned to practice kindness and do good to others, he will tend to show the attitude in this daily life. And the second is expanding Islamic insight. Islamic education can also help person to broaden his Islam horizons. An individual who contently student Islamic teaching will understand this teaching more deeply. First, he will be able to apply in this everyday life. This is important because Islamic teaching not only talk about worship and moral, but also about science and social and economy. And then for the third, in providing the quality of human research, Islam education also has a role in proving the quality of Islamic human research. Islam who learn the understanding Islam teaching correctly will be able to make a good contributions to society. In this field of economy, for example, A Muslim who understands Islam teaching about the business and the trade will be able to develop as a business in the good and the halal way. As a result, Islam will improve the quality of Islamic human research. Okay, the last is farming lifelong learners. Islamic education is also able to from lifelong learners, namely individual who continue to learn and deepens knowledge and the Islam. Islam education is always not only limited to formal educations, but also teachings that learners is obligations for every Muslim. Therefore, Muslim is expected to continue to learn through his life and then develop his sensitive scientific potential. Okay, maybe that's the last material I explained to you all. The next or the last is conclusions. In the conclusions, I want to tell you about the summary. One title that I have explained to you all. The conclusion is Islamic education has a basic context and include the formations of a good character, understanding the principle of Islam and the development of social and the culture sensitivity and implementations of the Islam educations in a fair every life can be seen to worship and the worship enable moral and justice and then important of knowledge and maybe um, that's all from my explanations about the science of Islamic educations. And don't forget, I am from group 6, and my name is Ainah. And I'm sorry if there is my mistake on the in the presentations me just now. And thank you for watching, and thank you for participation. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.